Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Monday. Welcome to the morning hookup. Phillips, Elijah Herbert, Dr. Dane Todd in the house. Hope your week's off to a great start. I feel like this vibe is how you're feeling after the weekend, my man.
Comfortably numb.
You've just been burning it at both ends.
Good weekend, though.
Yeah, you've had a hell of a run this weekend.
Well,
you're doing a great job.
What'd you have this weekend again? Was it wedding?
Just
No.
KFORs every day, every show.
No,
I am Jeff Moats for the weekend.
Yes.
That ends today. But
that's
for
exciting.
the weekend, I'm Jeff Moats.
I love that.
Jeff did let me know before he left, just to add some more stress to my life. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I think I'm going to take a week off here and maybe end of August."
No, you're not.
You couldn't have told me after you got back. couldn't have let that one sit out there somewhere beyond there.
I
But
just want you to get prepared.
no, but a good weekend. Zoo Fest on Saturday, downtown Lincoln was awesome. I got a chance to go see some great local acts, some touring acts. Stopped into a local restaurant, watched the England-Norway game, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Oh.
Fireworks aplenty.
Yep.
And then last night, I was out in Malcolm Jr.'s area tournament, as we had both an elimination game and a winner's bracket game to get into. The elimination game was a freaking marathon. I was behind home plate, 18-11 in 7 innings. We had 370 total pitches. Yes, my hamstrings are feeling it today. And then the second game was Malcolm and the Chick-fil-A team of Lincoln Lutheran. Good to see our friend Kevin Suits out there. It was Malcolm advancing. So Lincoln Lutheran with an elimination game, I believe, tonight for the chance to go play Malcolm on Tuesday in a winner-take-all game.
Did you say 370 pitches in one game?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not all by the same kids.
My goodness.
No. We did
Multiple.
have 2 pitchers both hit their 100 count maximums. And then we had to go to the relievers. But yeah, we did the math. And it was like 360 something, so just under 370.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What a marathon.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah,
the
for sure.
hammies are feeling. That was a 2-hour and 50-minute high school baseball
Yeah,
game.
man, you talk about baseball. A lot of the teams are coming to their end of their seasons coming up. I know select baseball. I think this is the last weekend for youth baseball and state tournaments if you're playing in them.
We're still awaiting seniors area tournament
Yep.
district pairings coming out here, but the juniors tournaments are rocking and rolling. So that was down Class C. And yeah, we have what is it, about a week and a half remaining with area tournaments. I think those should get wrapped up. Oh no, because we have Class B comes up later, so we're still like 2 weeks away from Class B. But then we have state tournaments, and then we'll see if anyone makes any runs towards the Legion World Series coming up here in August.
There you go.
Very nice. Love it. Hey, little housekeeping stuff.
Yep, I was good.
It was my youngest birthday this weekend.
Whoa! Happy birthday!
Yep. So Caroline, happy birthday. It's she turned 8. So that's
the grade 8.
Technically she turned 9, but we skipped her 6th birthday. Right. I've told you that story before, right? Yeah. It turns out that's not how it works, apparently. No. I can't fool her with that anymore. But so happy birthday, Caroline. So I'm done with
I was
the
gonna
birthday
say,
stuff and everything else for a bit.
If you've known Dane and had him on, we've been on the show for a long time. You go through a run of like June and part of July.
It's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal there.
And as a dad and a husband, you got to be on your game.
Well, yeah, kind of. Except my wife has to be on her game because let's be real, she's running it.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt.
The problem is she gets ignored the entire time, right? Like, it's not like we're doing anything for her anniversary, her birthday, or anything. So we're going to have to move her birthday at some point, for sure.
Have any of your kids ever tried to do that?
What?
My kid has tried to move his birthday. My oldest,
really?
my middle kid, Ty. He's in December. He's a late December kid.
Oh, yeah. He would want to, for sure. He got to be 6 months later thing.
It's the weird birthday where it's December 21st. So they're out of school for winter break. And it's cold.
Yep.
He's like, I wanted my birthday. Can we have it in the summer? I'm like, no, you're December.
Yeah. Tough break.
You're going to live how I lived.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
They've all tried to move it before.
Go build a snow fort.
Yeah. By yourself.
Well, although around here it's not typically snowy. It's just
not
really, really cold. So go build an ice fort. Maybe that's what you should do. You should freeze a bunch of blocks for him.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Oh my God.
Anything snow sounds
That was really good, actually. That was good.
You like Frozen, don't you? Or do you hate Frozen?
No, Frozen's fine.
No, you like it.
I like the animated movies. I love the animated movies.
Same.
They're great. I haven't seen Toy Story 5 yet. That's up next on the list, obviously.
I'll wait for streaming.
Yeah, me too. I always want to wait, but my wife will normally take the kids.
There's certain movies I need to see in theaters. For example, The Odyssey coming out here this week. I'm going to need to see that one in theaters. It's a 3-hour marathon.
Okay.
It's going to be as long as that baseball game I umpired last night, but It should be great. I've heard great reviews coming out of that one. So that's
noted for me, not the movie theater guy, so I can wait for it to come on
dude.
stream all the time.
Yeah, I'm not a movie theater guy at all. Heck, I told you I fell asleep at the Mario movie.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
that's the
just-
Mario movie.
Well, I know, but I mean, the first Mario movie was
Listen,
okay.
that's
Second
there's
one,
parents
though, I'm,
like us
chilling.
there's parents like us that you don't get many quiet times with your kids. You go to a movie and they're quiet, you can sleep.
Yeah, I was out.
It's a documented nap time.
I think I'm going to be driving to Omaha to go see the Odyssey in IMAX.
Wow.
That's how excited I am for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, that's a good move. The first IMAX movie I ever saw, well, not the first one I ever saw, but the best one I ever saw, we were down at the Alamo Bowl.
Against
we-
the Michigan.
Oh, and those sweet unis, those sweet.
Yeah. This is the year with the bowling outfit
Yep,
and my
that's it.
velour suit. Yeah,
That's
this is
right.
that year.
Yep.
That year. Went and saw the third Matrix movie in IMAX. I can't remember which one that was.
Oh, wow.
But I believe it was the third one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that was sick. I'm not gonna lie.
That sounds
That was
awesome.
really cool.
Good stuff. Well, we're going to get to a lot of stuff today. We got the doctor in the house. World Cup coming up. Semis are set. Major League Baseball will go around the diamond. A lot of champions delivered over the weekend. The Scottish Open, Wimbledon champs are all delivered. We'll talk about that. Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald in hour number 2. Couple of shockers in the Huskers in the Major League Baseball draft. We'll get to that. A few. I mean, I don't want to call them all shock. There's one big shock I think we'll talk about, and that's your shortstop. But then we'll also talk about 2 pitchers as well. And that one, the stories that we missed, and a whole lot more. Boy, World Cup. If you had a chance over the weekend to check out the World Cup, the semis are set. As you'll see, Tuesday, you'll get France and Spain. Wednesday, you get England and Argentina. My goodness, could it get any better than that?
Argentina and England. There's some history there from a political point of view, which
Yes,
is what
there
makes
is.
the World Cup so much fun. It's not only is there intrigue on the field, there is intrigue off the field. And that one is, oh boy,
It's everywhere. But
Falkland Islands, son.
but go back a little bit, the quarterfinal matchup. You got everything I think we needed and wanted from the first matchup. Second matchup we'll get to as Argentina does get that one. But England, Norway. 2-1 England in this one. I did not get a chance to watch it, but I caught a bunch of the highlights of it, obviously with baseball and stuff going on. But, man, what a match you got. Give me thoughts. Boy, England advances over what we as Americans, a lot of us adopted the Norwegians, the row. All that stuff. By the way, I saw the row happen over at the Scottish Open, by the way. At the Scottish Open, this is how deep this has gone with Norway. They're out in Scotland, obviously. But they set up on a par 3. Victor Hovland obviously documented Norwegian on the PGA Tour. They had a drum set up inside the ropes with a bunch of Vikings up in the stands with the little hats on. It must have been 50 of them. He walked up, boom, the entire way he walked up. Yeah. But England gets it done against Norway.
Yeah, Norway first on the board is a silly giveaway in midfield by England. Norway converts. Hell of a goal. We'll just put it that way. I mean, perfectly in off the post, kissed it in. England comes back, responds. They have a goal just before the halftime, and then after half as well. Jude Bellingham, he was fantastic all game long. Gets 2 goals for England. Norway, there's one chance in the second half. I think they're going to regret. They have a 2-on-1. Erling Haaland is running full speed. They don't find him. The guy goes for glory himself, ends up getting the ball poked off his toe, and that ends the chance. And that was really the last great chance for Norway. It goes to extra time. Haaland, I mean, he was just gassed in that Miami Heat. They sub him off in the last 15 minutes, and Norway didn't really pose much of a threat in extra time. England scores the winner. They advance. They win it. I should say Bellingham scored it in extra time, I should say. But Bellingham gets the winner. England was fantastic. They sang Hey Jude. They sang Wonderwall. The England fans are head over heels for that win. Sucks to see Holland go, but this was a World Cup that I don't think anyone from Norway can be upset about.
No.
A heck of a run from them. That is still a team that I think is a couple years away from reaching their peak. Euros coming up in 2 years, World Cup in 4 years. Watch out for Norway. But the way they elevated themselves made their country proud. I think Holland gained something like 200 million Instagram followers this World Cup run. It was something silly like that. He made a name for himself. He's a star. Norway did great, but this is a matchup that I think everyone can get excited about with England and Argentina. Which, if you want to talk about Argentina, oh boy, what a game that was. You had a player get sent off for diving.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing of all time, by the way. I absolutely love that. Now, technically, he got sent off for a second yellow, right? So not for diving. However, he earned himself a second yellow by diving, and it is one of my absolute favorite things. I can't emphasize that enough.
What's the idiot thinking? That's my question. Switzerland just got the momentum in that game. They score the equalizer. It feels like they have just like the fresh legs at that point in the game. They have the crowd on their side, the energy. And then in that moment, I mean, it's not even like they're threatening on goal. He just decides to go down with nobody even near him, flops around like a fish on the field.
He was thinking, I'm playing soccer. I might as well play soccer the way it's meant to be played, and that is by faking injuries.
I mean, it was terrible. Like, if you're going to flop that badly, try to get up quickly and move on and be like, I hope he didn't notice how badly I just flopped that thing. Instead, he's flopping around like a fish. They go to VAR, and he gets the second yellow sent off, rightfully so. He's in tears in the field. No one feels bad for him. No one feels bad for him.
See ya.
I love it.
Absolutely ruined Switzerland's chances in that game at a time whenever they had all the momentum. It goes to extra time. Julian Alvarez, what a goal in extra time from outside the box. Upper 90, sends it home, sends Argentina to the semifinals.
Then just randomly, obviously playing in Nebraska, and there's some hot games.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever experience anything like that? Or like nowadays you could see it because now they're getting penalized for it. But like somebody be like, hey, stay down. Go down, injury stuff, or a team that did it to you?
No,
because it's real. I think it's a real thing in football or
and
sports.
It became a problem there, and I don't know how much it became a problem, but became something that everybody was talking about what was that 5-6 years ago or so, where it was happening a lot. And I do recall the Iowa game here in Nebraska, in Lincoln, where they won on a last-second field goal. Where there was one player who kept getting injured, right, on the defensive side of the ball for him, just over and over and over again all game long, right? And the fans were super hot about that, okay? Now, in talking to their docs after the game, right, the guy had a shoulder that was dislocating over and over again, and they knew he had a dislocating shoulder, right, but he was playing with it. And so, yeah, the kid kept getting hurt because his shoulder kept getting dislocated. But at some point, like, it is an absolute technique to try to create extra timeouts, with that. And I think it's absolute garbage, and there should be penalties for it. And if you get caught doing it, I actually.
How do you prove it? Do you hook the player up to a polygraph?
No.
Are you actually injured?
What you do is you go ahead and accept the fact that you're going to toss some guy who's injured once in a while for it. It's like removing appendices, okay? Like the appendix in your abdomen, okay?
Here.
It is well understood that in order to make sure you're not missing them, that general surgeons should be removing some normal ones. And it's not a small percentage. It's like, I think, if I remember right from med school, it was like 10%, right, of those.
Well, because aren't appendixes also kind of half pointless?
Yeah, for the most part,
half
right?
Pointless.
But so is flopping. Okay, but so is flopping. So if 10% of the time you're wrong, right, but 90% of the time you're right, dude, I'll take it. Absolutely, to get rid of that from all sports, because it has. And I know people say, "Oh, well, it's about." In soccer, it's part of the strategy and you're working towards it. No. It's being soft and it's faking something to try to gain an advantage. Like, don't be soft. So let's toss people out and know what they won't do. They won't flop.
And I wonder how you'd set that rule, whether you go on a player basis or whether it's a team basis. Like, hey, players, second injury of the game, they get a warning.
So I think the second injury of a game, right, to a player, like, you probably got to be out for the rest of at least the quarter, right?
Yeah, sure.
But if you just give the guy, say, after a second injury, you give the guy a warning and say, hey, any more injuries?
Look, man, you're at 2.
Like, two things can happen, right? Like, two things can happen in a game, no question, right? Like, in the state championship game, I sprained both ankles and my MCL, right, on separate plays. So,
do you think those are related? Compensation injury?
Yeah, I think it was related to me just getting rolled up on 3 different times, right?
Okay.
And so, like, things can happen, right? By the third one, I was done, right? Like, okay. But I think the first time, whatever, you're injured, like, you're out for
Mhm.
whatever the rest of the series is.
Mhm.
Like the whole I'm hurt, I've got to go off for one play and I get to come back on. I think if you're injured, you're out for the rest of the series.
I love it.
And then the second time you're out for the quarter, you go down a third time,
See ya.
Out for the game.
you're out for the game.
I'd like that.
You've got enough problems going on, and that's just football.
That's just a
obviously,
safety
right?
thing.
and
We'll
just-
call
yeah,
it safety
yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, for pitch counts in baseball, like, hey, if you throw this many pitches, you have this many prescribed days of rest. Hey, if you go
Yep.
down once in a football game, you have to sit out the rest of the series.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you go rest of the quarter, rest of the half for a second injury, whatever it may be. Give the guy some time to think about it. And hey, if you can come back, awesome. I like
Yeah.
that. And then maybe a team warning as well for a team trying to go hurry up. And here's the guy with the hamstring cramp that tries to come back in. I don't know.
Well, guy can't
Just a
come back
thought.
in, right?
Great point.
And that's why,
Yep.
and that's why it works, right? Because in theory, your starters are out there, right? And the people you actually want on the field. So you're not all of a sudden going to fake an injury to have one of your best players not be out there.
Good thoughts. Good
I
thoughts.
also
See,
say-
I knew I'd go somewhere with this.
Any cramp that happens in temperatures sub 50 degrees, auto ejection.
Auto.
You're done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Auto
I'm all for
ejection.
that. Except there are some guys with some underlying
Genetic
medical
cramping, yeah.
problems, right? But it doesn't change the fact you had to stop the game, right? Get off. Or you know what you could do to avoid having to miss the rest of the series? Instead of laying on the ground with your cramp,
You got to get up and
you
move off.
could crawl your butt off the sideline,
That's right
right?
for a
That's
sub.
true.
you know, to
I
get a
like it.
sub.
Or could you, to get the guy back in, could you take a 10-yard penalty?
Well, there's so many.
Ooh.
ideas.
Hey, if the guy wants to come back in, you take the delay of game for the previous injury, and it's a 10-yard penalty.
And an automatic first down if
Say-
it's somebody on defense.
Yeah, well, yeah. Say if it's like a big series, fourth quarter,
Yeah.
you're up by 7, your defense is out
Well,
there.
we're-
Guy gets hurt, you want to get him back out there. Well, okay, you take the 10-yard delay of game penalty,
We are changing the
or
injury-
5-yard first down, 5 yards of free first down, whatever it may be.
The morning,
Yeah.
the morning hookup is
Get us into a
changing.
position of power.
We are changing the injury
Tell you
landscape
what.
as we speak.
We'll
right
fix the
before
game of
you on a
football.
Monday. We're fixing it right now. Just to recap, but coming up now, I'm going to ask you guys this question. We've got Tuesday, Wednesday. You got semifinals of World Cup, France, Spain, England, Argentina. If you look at these teams, these 4 teams, obviously you feel like a lot of them, we're going to be here at the end. Thoughts on re-ranking them? Your favorite when you're looking at, because France was number 1 coming in.
France
Are
is-
they still the favorite?
They're still
Or
the
is it
favorite.
Spain?
France is still the favorite.
The champions coming out of that game?
Um,
Because you got France, Spain. They're at each other.
I mean, Argentina and England's great too. These are
Argentina's that team that's been
based on how these teams have been playing, in whatever order you want to rank them, these are the top 4 teams in the
Yep.
World Cup. These are the semifinalists that, based on how teams have been playing, we should have gotten. We've gotten them. This should be fireworks. Spain just had their first goal scored on them by Belgium in this entire tournament. Because of that, because of how solid they've been, you probably have to put them 2. But I mean, you could make a strong argument for Argentina or England as well. England just beat the hottest team in the World Cup with Norway. Was it their best performance? No, but they got it done. Argentina has just looked, I mean, kind of immortal.
Mhm.
They had a 5-minute stretch against Switzerland where they looked mortal, but then Switzerland goes down to 10 men, and here you go back. I mean, Argentina never looked like they were going to lose that game once Switzerland is down to 10 men. So, in whatever order you want, I have Spain at number 1, and then it's 2A, 2B, 2C, in my
Yep.
opinion.
agree.
It should be fun.
It's coming up
You could give me
Tuesday.
any combination of teams in the final, and I'd believe yes, it stands right now.
Tuesday, Wednesday, by the way, you get mid-afternoon
Yeah.
soccer, 3 p.m.
Yep. And
right?
then
3 p.m.
I think it's 2 p.m.
2
Central.
p.m. Central time. You get soccer.
And
on
then
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Great.
a third place game that no one will care about on Saturday, including the teams themselves. No one cares about third place in the World Cup.
Bet the overs.
Typically, the stars are even going to sit in
Yep.
these games.
Hang on. I can't actually. So I didn't even realize that they did that.
Yeah.
That
They-
they played a third place game.
They've talked about getting rid of
Oh
it.
my goodness. They should absolutely get rid of that.
Yeah,
That is
because
so soft.
because none of the teams, like the club teams, want their stars to go and get hurt in a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of the
That-
stars really want to play. So it ends up being just like the B team against the B team in the third place
Yeah.
game. It's maybe like,
It's so dumb.
hey, some aging guy wants to play one last game for the national team, so he'll go play in that. But
Uh,
no one cares about that. But then the championship, the World Cup final, which should be fantastic, Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Where at?
New York, I believe.
Yes.
Well, sorry, New Jersey, East Rutherford,
Mm.
Yeah.
which is not
Not
the
west?
best location for it, but
But it is
I-
what it is.
I think SoFi would have been the spot for it.
Where do they
personally.
play the third place game at? Is that like in
Mexico City.
Like-
Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking about where could they go play this and like where nobody's going.
The third place game is in Miami. And then the final is in
That'll be
The
hot.
final would have been sweet in Miami.
Third place game down.
Third place game. in
semifinals.
Miami.
By the way,
Miami.
France and Spain taking place in Dallas, Texas, Jerry World, and then England, Argentina is going to be in Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta, baby.
But hang on, Jerry World?
Yeah.
That's got a retractable roof, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it opens.
it
doesn't it?
opens, but it also has the. Have you seen how the World Cup has put blinds into the stadium to block the sun?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Because Jerry World has been designed with like that open end with the open lights.
Mhm.
The problem being that if you play in the afternoon, which is when most sporting events are, especially during like early football season, late summer, the sun shines directly into the player's eyes on one end of the field.
Mhm.
FIFA is smart enough to put up blinds for the World
Blinds.
Cup. The Dallas Cowboys refuse to do so.
Of course.
Because I mean, so many stadiums are set up so that, you know, the sun is at least off to the corner, even whenever it's an open one. So it's rare to see. But no, Jerry World is done. So afternoon games early in the football season, late in the summer, as we are right now, the sun is in the afternoon directly in the eyes of the players on one end of the field.
Directly.
Thank you, Jerry.
Love that.
Good stuff. Well, coming up tomorrow and Wednesday, semifinal World Cup matchups. Be intriguing to see when and who gets that done. And then the final will be just around the corner for us. So let's take our first break of the hour and come back with more with Dr. Dane Todd.
I've got to hold mine
Can you hear
too
now?
half the time.
How about now? Hear me now? Tanner's in the house. Tanner Hooks, my youngest, in the house. He
Right,
accomplished
Tanner.
a feat over the weekend.
All right, is that the right mic? Try that one.
Try it now. Yep.
No, it was the first one.
Go now.
Hello.
Yep.
You should have a little.
I
soft
sent them
voice.
the video. They saw your video.
Umpire giving you a high five is crazy.
Yeah.
I understand it's youth
Hey,
baseball, but
That dude was we've had him a few
That
times.
dude is electric.
He's electric. He's I don't want to say like I describe him. He's really good. Solo guy, hot day in Beatrice. I mean in Waverly.
What was he good? Was he
And like he is like Mr. Descriptive guy, and he's all about the kids a lot. I mean, he makes calls, right?
Yeah.
He'd be like, ball. Nope, that's in the box. Ball.
he said it so loud.
You know.
I'm telling you, we had a couple of home runs in my game last night because we played Malcolm, tiny field out there. They have moved home plate back to get more distance out there, which now makes it 305 to right field,
Woo!
325 to left, 325 to center. Small little ball.
God,
It,
small, that's a little,
it used to be 290s to the corner and 305 to dead
little
center.
crackerjack box. Oh,
So we had a couple home runs last night, and if I would have high fived one of those players coming around third, I would have gotten thrown at.
yeah.
Are you kidding? I get it in youth baseball, but did you get the tape? Did you get the tape measure out for your home run?
No, we guessed it was
Can
probably
you unplug it?
unplug. Why?
'Cause I'm untangled.
I gotta take it. Where?
What, 450, 500?
Well, we'll give him 240 to 250.
Okay.
It was only like two
Wall
something down the
scraper.
left. He hit it in the gap, and we were trying to guess because it went across this little dirt road and about 4 rows.
They
We
said
5 rows up in the corn.
Okay.
That was a good one. It was a good shot. You could, it was. I'll give him the. You know, I'm the dad sitting there on the bucket watching because I'm calling pitches and you know, and it was a no doubter. He hit it and it was like, oh boy, this is about to happen. But like we've always said, Tanner, what are home runs, sir?
Mistakes.
Yep,
Yeah, you should be hitting singles and doubles.
they're mistakes.
That means your swing plane was all wrong. We're going for line
Oh, boy,
drives.
that thing was- it was a connect the dots, that's for sure.
My next one was just
I'm not talking about your next bat.
Strikeout looking.
No,
pop up.
he was trying. It was he worked a good count, full count, got fooled on a changeup.
And then
It was a pitch.
Yeah, it was good.
I just called.
And
it
then they
pitch.
end up with a runner's a
runners.
runner
in.
interference.
Oh, nice.
I would have been safe.
All right, gentlemen, we are coming back here.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Happy Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hot week coming up. Some hot weather out there. Boy, it's humid over the weekend, wasn't it?
You've been listening to my forecast this morning, haven't you? Yeah.
Elijah, I got you.
I
I could
missed
hear
it.
you over there this morning. I could hear it.
I definitely missed it.
Where over the week? It was
I don't feel bad about it either, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It was so humid over the weekend.
Oh, it was really humid.
Like the temperatures were nice, like mid 80s, but man,
87 feels like 98.
oh my, like swampy. Woke up this morning and like all the windows are fogged over in the house.
Not a lot of rain in the forecast, eh?
Nope.
My lawn is in. My lawn's in for a week here.
It didn't save some of all the rain we got, just saved it.
It was pretty good for a while there.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice.
Nah,
I wasn't complaining.
I got some brown patches. Well, I don't have in-ground sprinklers,
Oh, you
so I
gotta
have to
go out
get
there with-
manually sprinkle.
That'll cause some effort.
Yeah, it reeks of effort. And at
Yep.
this point of the year, hey, my lawn looked great in June. We're gonna take that.
Yeah.
I might go get some. I have some like hot weather fertilizer. I might get out on there.
Okay. I don't know if that's good.
Just something to try. To
You
save
might
it.
want to chat GPT that.
Yeah,
before
you
do
might
it,
wanna
dude.
ask- You might ask back in our day, ask Jeeves.
Hey, send a message into my mom at Backyard Farmer. And see what she thinks about that. She got a turf guy who'd probably be like, "Oh, I don't know about fertilizing when it's 2 million degrees. It
Yeah.
sounds like a bad idea. I could be completely wrong."
I think I missed the fertilizer window by about 2 weeks here. I think it would have been better 2 weeks because it helps with like hardiness. But I think once it's already hot, I think I may have missed the window. But hey, what's the worst that's going to happen?
You burn up your grass.
That is the worst. But
Yeah.
think about what's the best thing that could happen.
We're gonna host a home and garden show.
Oh man, I'm not sure a lot of good things can come out of this scenario.
My lawn looks beautiful and lush, and I can go double birds to all my neighbors.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way
How
the lawns
old
go?
are you, by the way?
He's 64.
You're like an old man in a young person's body.
27 going on 60.
Yeah, definitely. You're sitting there. You
My
sit there-
retirement's going to be awesome when it's coming up here in 7 years.
I don't know that it's going to be awesome, man. You might as well buy some New Balances, some crew cut socks.
Oh, it's Skechers all day.
Oh my no, I am gonna be one of those retirees that's still like working full time, but just on my lawn. Sure, I'll be reading a lot of books, going to the coffee shop in the morning, just hanging out with all my old person.
I think you
friends.
should own a coffee shop just for fun, and when you're retired,
You know what? I want to own a bar.
Nah, it's a terrible idea.
I'll talk
You
you
think
out of
so?
Yeah, terrible plan.
it. Coffee shop, you could sell your candles. Like you could really do this up.
I could sell.
You're the
candles
guy,
at a
the
bar.
mystery guy sitting in the corner. You're like it's not Finch from American Pie,
Oh God. Wow.
right?
Well,
Just in the corner with a little smoker coat on.
I do have
with this-
strong opinions about coffee.
Uh,
My dad, I know how to roast beans. My dad's got a nice home roasting setup at home.
Of course he does. And you make candles too?
Sometimes it's been a while.
Sometimes.
It's
But
been
he
a
like-
while.
Just occasionally when he feels like it.
This is pretty much it. Yeah. Whenever I feel like my home needs some new scents.
He's
It's-
giving
it-
me way more like farmer's market vibes than
Oh.
owning an actual shop vibes.
Ooh.
Know what I'm saying, right? Because some of these things we're kind of dabbling in, and it's almost like then once a week he could have one of the projects.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying? And that would keep you going. And so it'd be Elijah's stand.
This
You
month,
never know what you're going to get there, right? Is
Thi-
it going to be candles? Is it going to be home roasted coffee?
this
Is it gonna
month at
be-
the Elijah
I've been growing
Herbal.
peppers.
Is it going to be a brisket that you smoke? Right? You know what I'm saying?
I'm over pulled pork guy, but yeah,
right?
pulled pork so much more cost effective.
This week
Yeah.
in Elijah Herbal's Farmers Market,
Yeah. How cool would that be?
I
Actually,
mean-
that might not be a bad idea.
we're setting his retirement up nice.
It'd be something for him to do on Saturdays and Sundays.
And Sundays, he could go to the big one and then go to like smaller markets.
Then you just spend all week preparing for it.
yeah,
You know, it gives you something to do while you're over fertilizing your
5
lawn
days a
at
week.
inappropriate times.
5 days a week, never having to get dressed.
No,
Oh,
I'll
snap.
still be in my bowling league, so 4 days a week without getting
4 days
dressed.
a week, never getting dressed.
Yeah, but how many hours in your day is your bowling?
It's only like 2 hours, but once I'm old, I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time stretching. I'm sure keeping everything loose,
It's fair.
practicing.
It's fair.
Why do you look at us when you say that?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Hmm.
I feel
That wasn't
like
nice.
I feel attacked.
Stretching's big, guys,
It is.
especially at your age.
Wow. There it
There it
was.
is.
There it
What are you
was.
laughing about, Hooks?
Yeah. Little
I
guy.
stretch,
Oh
because I
yeah.
stretch.
I'll guarantee you can't touch his toes.
I think he actually can. This is the one kid that I
It
can.
sounds like a
Youth
lie.
baseball is crazy though, because those kids get out there that are pitching. It's like 2 warm-up pitches. All right, I'm good. It's like it takes me like 40 to get my arm loose, and then I get one good pitch, and now my arm's sore.
Yeah,
At my elevated age.
27.
This is
Elevated age.
ridiculous.
I know. I feel attacked right now. I really need a safe space.
Hey, I want to go into a little Husker talk real quick. Boy, it's about schedule for you guys. If you guys saw this, there's an article out there now that ESPN is that their FPI, they took out and put the top 25 toughest schedules in the country out. As you look at some of them in there, and maybe the conversation will be if you guys ever thought about this schedule-wise, Dane, if you talked about schedule, how the strength of it, probably not, but thoughts around the sum of all the parts, because there's a lot of talk about Nebraska football schedule this year. As we're starting to talk football, we're getting to that level now because not a few weeks away from, is it a few weeks away from Big Ten Media Days?
Yeah.
We're getting close to Big Ten Media Days where
2 weeks tomorrow.
Yep. And I know you've been down there doing some doctor stuff down at the university, and the players are getting ready. But thoughts on strength of schedule. Nebraska, by the way, from the ESPN FPI, does not register in the top 25.
Yeah. Well, that's because of non-conference schedules.
Well, and it's also because how the FPI is set up is they kind of build in some SEC bias.
Yep, they do, because listen to this. I'll give you the top schools. We'll go through the top schools. We'll talk about that, but also Nebraska and contenders. The top 9 of the top 10 are SEC.
Yep.
When you look at it and see who's contenders and who's not within this. When you look, again, it's super early in this. Arkansas, by the way, checks in at 1 overall, but here's some contenders and where some national contenders. Oklahoma is in at 2. Texas, 3. We'll skip 4. That's Kentucky. Don't care. Ole Miss, can they do what they did last year? They're at 5. Florida, 7. Your first and only Big Ten school in the top 10 is Ohio State at 8. A&M, 9. South Carolina, 10. Other Big Ten schools that check in this, you got Ohio State at 8. You've got Michigan checking in at 16. Northwestern, 17. And again, I apologize because I missed this, but Nebraska checks in at 21 on this top 25. And then Purdue at 23. Washington, 25. So Nebraska at 21. Did you guys ever think about the schedule as a whole? Or talk about it? Or how did, when you were there either with Solich or with Callahan, how did you guys view the schedule? Because I've always said, do you view it in thirds, quarters, non-conference, conference? Were there thoughts about, hey, we're going to look at this part. How do we do in this part? And we'll move on to this part.
I imagine the coaches looked at it in sections. We didn't ever talk about it that I can recall ever. Like, I barely knew who we were playing the next week. That's
because like most of them, you were studying, getting smart.
God, the only time I remember Callahan ever mentioning the schedule is when we played, what was it? Was it Akron at home? And then after the game, he said, this was stupid. All that matters is next week. Right. And so I don't ever recall looking ahead at things or anything else. It was just purely I guess maybe for the only time we actually looked ahead at anything was when you had a bye week the next week. And then you were sitting there planning what you're going to do on your bye week as your only break during the year. But
imagine those conversations. The bye week is ahead of you and you're winning by like 3 touchdowns. You're like, boys.
Yeah,
we're getting close.
We're getting close.
You're in the huddle, and Zach's like, "Can we just get this done?
Yeah.
We're getting close.
We're
boys.
just kneeling the ball.
We got the lake. We got all this cool stuff coming up.
We got stuff happening.
When is that? Can you crack a bush light on the sideline?
I mean, that would be. You can now, probably.
That's a good point.
I don't know why you couldn't. Might as well.
Just have someone go buy one.
The guy or the girl.
No, but look at the
walking the track, and the boys are like,
dude,
"Hey,
that would be awesome."
You're the third string center or something.
No, the third string might have to go in.
Third string.
Oh,
yeah,
you got to be the guy like we're up a bunch.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're up a bunch. I got my shoulder pads off already. Here we go.
Just going stone cold Steve Austin on the sideline.
I mean,
coach, like whatever. It's the bye week.
Yeah, it is right. You got time off. Here we go. God, that would be incredible. But looking back at the schedule, though, like I agree. But the only thing that makes our schedule tough is the few hard opponents that we play, and then everything else. Like it's a big time drop off. Our non conference schedule is. I mean,
Yeah.
not
And again,
great.
I'm not in the whole discussion because we're not quite there yet about predicting schedule and work and records like that yet. But just looking as a whole, Nebraska checked in at 21.
And the thing about this schedule, if you want to be, if you're at mid-July now and looking to turn up some of the Kool-Aid, some of the optimism for the year, which I'm not there just yet. I have rightful concerns. I like the roster, but I have concerns. The schedule ramps up for you
Quickly.
I mean, it's 3 bot wins. If you're not 3-0 by the time you're heading out to Michigan State, pack up the U-Haul, Matt Rule. Simple as that.
Yep.
I don't care what the buyout is. You're 3-0. We're putting it down for Michigan State. I'm not going to think about any other alternatives.
That's a must, 100% expectation.
Yes.
No doubt about it this year. You're not 3-0, boy. Just
yeah.
I would even say 2-1 doesn't cut it.
And then I think your first 2 Big Ten games even ramp up. Where Michigan State, they have brought in some talent, and Pat Fitzgerald's always going to have a tough team, but you're also going to be playing Pat Fitzgerald in his 4th game at Michigan State. He's still trying to set his culture there. Yes, he's brought in some talent. I think that's a great first test in the Big Ten because it's going to be well coached. They're going to be a clean football team. They're probably going to have some toughness on their lines of scrimmage, but at the end of the day, it's a coach in year 1 that is still trying to build up towards something, and you're in year 4. It's just a game where you go out, play clean football, match the physicality of the lines of scrimmage. I think you should be leaving Michigan State with a victory. We shall see, though. That's a great first test. Then you go to Maryland, who I think has a great quarterback with Malik Washington. They had a lot of young talent. They had that true freshman edge rusher, or the pair last year. They had young talent. Loxley, in terms of who he is as a coach, he's on the hot seat just a little bit, but they're a team with young talent that you have doubts about the coaching, how clean a football they're going to be playing. They shot themselves in the foot bad last year with penalties, and it's the first game back home where you might be 4-0. Crowd should be able to play a factor there. A ramp up from Michigan State but still a game that I think you can go out there and win. And then you get into the meat of your schedule. So it ramps up with 3 easy wins, 2 different types of tests in the Big Ten. The second one being more difficult than the first. You ramp up. And then, it's the defending national champion coming to your place.
But momentum is everything in that. I mean, again, you're going to walk in a 5-game, 4 your first 5 at home, 5 games, the first 5 you're favored in.
Yeah.
You're expected to win those. And who knows how much momentum gets built up, because that's a real thing. I think momentum, like stacking wins. And I think this is a year for Nebraska. When you look at stacking wins, you've always said it, just win by 1. Don't matter how you win, just win by 1. But talk about that, like momentum. In that type of atmosphere too, because you are going to welcome the defending national champions October 10th to your place.
Well, winning solves all of life's problems here, right?
Yep.
And so as you're doing it, then everybody's happy, everybody's in a good mood. All of a sudden, that bruise you've got doesn't hurt as bad, right? So everything gets better if you can stack up all these wins. Now, you start accumulating a loss there, right? And then you're going to have a little more doubt going into, the real meat of the schedule there. I mean, that would be tough, right? And that's where I think you could see things spiral pretty fast. I mean, look at Penn State last year, right? They went from national championship contender to spiraling out of control really, really quickly. And now I don't think we're kind of at that same spot. Obviously, we're not at that spot, right? Nobody's talking about us winning a national championship this year. Okay.
What?
Yeah, I know. Weird.
We do that every year.
Weird. Yeah. Well,
wait for a couple weeks when the videos come out.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah. Forgot about
Is that wrong?
No,
it's true.
No, it's true.
That's true. But so we're not starting with the same level of expectations, right? And so there's not quite as much there, but you're exactly right. In those first 3 games, if you're not 3-0, like you got major problems.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm not going to go as far as to say 5-0, but 4-1 is baseline. If you're not 4-1, you're at risk of not making a bowl game. And 5-0 should be doable, as you talked about, Hooksy. You'd like to just go win all the games that you're favored in this year. That's not always going to happen in football, but 5-0 is not unrealistic to think about. But then you look at what the schedule is the rest of the year. if you're sitting at 3-2
You're not making a bowl
when
game.
Indiana, when Indiana comes
Because
down, you're not making a bowl game.
I believe in that mix, first of all, by the way, because that's where I talk about the schedule breakdown. You got the first 5 for Nebraska. I think more of as a fan, you look at first 5 for Nebraska, 5-0, go find a couple more somewhere else. But if you're not there, and Dan, you can speak to this too about games or in seasons that you were in when you lost the team a little bit. Because that's a real thing, especially the situation Nebraska's in, or it could have been when Callahan was there, whatever. But there are games or seasons where it's like, boy, we're going nowhere. And then you get, I don't want to call player or anybody out, but like, then there's effort. Then there's, I might not put that hat on that hat hard enough, because here's the deal, man, we're 4 and whatever. Right. That's a real, I think it is. Unfortunately, that's the way sports go.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened. So like that happened to us when in Callahan's first year, where coming in, everybody was already salty, right?
Dude, the spring game made it real for us, man.
Yeah.
Joe Daly going deep.
Yeah. It was awesome. Right.
Every Eric Callahan.
You know, what didn't make it real for us was losing to Southern Miss.
Nope.
Right. And here's the other thing that starts to happen. As if you start accumulating losses, some of your better players, unfortunately, start, especially as they're upperclassmen, right? Start saying, well, I'm just going pro, right? And next thing you know, it gets way harder to put in the same kind of effort when what you're really focused on is the next season, right? And I imagine that's only harder now, where people can just transfer willy-nilly, right? Is I bet it's a pretty slippery slope in losing teams these days, because
your eyes are peeking somewhere else, and you play teams that you might be like, all right, I might end up there. I could end up there.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
It's just I can only imagine. However, I will say, like, our schedule does look tough on the FBI ranking. That's tough because of the games that, I'm confident we're going to be underdogs in. Not tough because of the games that I'm confident we're going to be, favored in.
Well, and I think at least at this point in the year, the lines coming out are because of the expected talent on the roster. But as Husker fans can tell you, based on the past 10 years, the expected talent on the roster is far from everything.
Oh.
The 3 things I've circled this offseason, and I think if you complete 2 of the 3 in any given game, you give yourself a great chance to win. You can out-talent your opponent, you can out-coach your opponent, or you can out-grit your opponent. And I think Nebraska has lost on the grit and the coaching side of things a lot in the last 10 years. So as you start looking ahead to opponents, talent's not everything. Can you go control the controllables?
Mm-hmm.
Can you out-grit? Can out toughness your opponent, be in it till the very end, and then
it's a big one right there
on the sideline. Can your coaching staff go out there, have a proper game plan in place, the correct game management decisions? Can they go out and out coach the other sideline?
I just threw it out there, and I agree with that, because that's been Nebraska's not their MO as of late. The grit, the adversity, overcoming deficits type, the mental side. But also probably they've been deficient on the coaching side, on that side. But I just wrote down just.
I mean, why does Iowa beat you every single year? It's not because of talent on the field.
Nope.
They have some great lines of scrimmage, don't get me wrong, but they out tough you.
Tougher than you are.
And they out coach you every single year.
Smack you in the mouth, you can't get back up. I just wrote down, just before we go to break, just a spitballing when I look at the schedule. I think you'll be favored in 5, not favored in 4, and there's 3 toss-ups.
Which ones are the toss-ups?
Here's what I tossed up. So yeah, I think the first 5 you're favored in. Indiana, Oregon, not favored for sure. Here's the toss-ups I threw out there. It's that 3-game stretch in the middle there. Washington, Illinois, Rutgers.
Yep.
And Rutgers is probably one of your favorite in, but you're out there. But I think that Washington at home toss-up, depending on what you're at in the season, where they're playing, where we're playing.
I think
Illinois, it's one of those Iowa-type games. We go there on a Friday night, and we always get out tough.
Yep. Just based on what happens previously with Indiana and Oregon, I wouldn't be surprised to see Illinois as a slight favorite in Lincoln, but it'll be pretty close to a toss-up. I'm with you on that one.
Well, we're there at Illinois.
Sorry.
I think it's I think Illinois would be favored.
So I was talking about Washington.
Washington
is the game that they'll probably be the slight favorite in Lincoln, but we'll see what Nebraska does against Indiana and Oregon. Illinois, I'm very curious to see. They lost a ton. They lost like half of their assistant coaches this year. New special teams coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach. They lost a ton, not to mention the fact I think they lost like 70% of their returning production, offensive and defensive wise. They got a ton to replace. Might be a rebuilding year for them, but also it's Bielema in November, and he coaches the heck out of his guys. Same with Iowa. They're kind of going a little bit younger, especially along the lines of scrimmage this year. But unfortunately, you get them the last week of the season whenever they've had the entire season to ramp up and get developed. So
it's just those things. I mean, for sure, right now you can say Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, Iowa, not favored one. Not one chance. You're favored in those 4.
Yeah. No.
So it just weighs as we go back to it to wrap it up and we'll have more with Dr. Dane Todd. But it's like how you look at schedules, right? And then I think that's a lot of how you look at your record. Because right now, if you look at it from just a pure little exercise, you're 5-4 with 3 toss-ups. So a lot more to come as we creep towards Big Ten Media Days. But let's take a final break of the hour and come back with more with Dr. Dane Todd. Or it could be that schedule. I mean, it could be not that it, I hope it does. It could be, it's such a different way. Like all the promise we had going to Ireland.
Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that was tough.
How that snowballed. And again, there was a lot of other stuff. I know there was factors and whatever you want to, whatever, but that's when it got it. If you would have gotten like momentum, go out and win in Ireland, could be completely a different look.
Well, I think
that was Northwestern's only win, by the way.
Oh,
speaking of Northwestern, have you seen their schedule this year?
Yeah, they rank, by the way, in this.
I know they're top 20. I think they should be
17.
Top 10. South Dakota State to open the year, which South Dakota State is always one of the best FCS teams in the country. And then home against Colorado, which Colorado, we'll let that one lie. Open up the Big Ten play at Indiana.
Yikes.
And then the following week, they come back home against Penn State. They get a nice game against Ball State on October 10th, the only game probably on their schedule. I go, yeah, they're going to win that one for sure. Now, I think Northwestern is going to probably be flirting with bowl eligibility because I think they're going to be like the best bad team in the Big Ten. But then they go at Michigan State, home against Rutgers. So not a bad October at all after the Penn State. It's Ball State, then at Michigan State, home against Rutgers. Not bad. Here's how they finish their season. At Oregon, home against Iowa, at Ohio State, at Minnesota, and then they wrap up their season home against Illinois. 3 teams in that stretch that you don't want to face in November with Iowa, Minnesota, and Illinois. Oh, and then the other 2 games in that stretch are at Oregon, at Ohio State.
That feels good.
I can't wait till we get closer because we'll start playing the game in the Big Ten and the country about the over-under game.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Northwestern because I actually like how their roster's built this year. I think they're like any other year, I'd have them being like a dark horse to get to 7 or 8 wins, but this year is just gross.
They
have Chip Kelly at OC, Northwestern of all places. Chip Kelly's their offensive coordinator. They brought in Aiden Childs, the Michigan State quarterback. He's their quarterback. They have 2 returning starters in the offensive line and 3 transfers that all have starting experience, Power 5. Like their team is decently constructed. Braun's a good defensive coach, but Jesus, that schedule.
That's rough. That's rough. You were talking about the Ireland debacle. Well, think about Frost's first year. You play that first game against Troy, right? And come out with a win, then you probably don't lose to Colorado in that second game. Right? You know, because you've already gotten knocked the rust off of everything, right? And that completely changes the very first year. Imagine how that changes the trajectory of things. Maybe.
There's a lot. I don't know. It's just so much of go. Dang, if we could do this, let's do.
Coming back.
Welcome back in the morning, Hookup. Thanks for hanging out with us a few more moments with the doctor, Dr. Dane Todd. DDT, you got a new clinic open?
I do. Got a new clinic open. Salt Creek location. It's over by North Star High School.
This thing was like Facebook. Like when you find out on Facebook, it's real.
Yeah, it is.
That's the real thing, right?
It's Facebook real, right?
Facebook
It's like
real.
relationships. They're Facebook real. Facebook.
I didn't know you guys were together.
I know, right?
Like your friendversaries or whatever they're called.
We've got a physical therapy office there that we opened up, and a quick care in addition to seeing clinic patients. So
I feel like that's like part of you guys' like mission is serving all areas in all different places.
we're
now.
trying to
You-
move different areas around the town, right? Because
Mhm.
it's just, let's be honest, I hate driving across Lincoln. I hate driving most places, right?
You're not just you. I think it's everybody, not construction wise, but I think Lincoln is so unique because it's in quadrants. You feel like
Mm-hmm.
where there's this, there's that, and they're all. You don't have to leave that far,
Yeah, you really don't.
or you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's also kind of hard to get to from one corner of town to the other unless you do Beltway all the way
Is
around.
that real? That anywhere you go in town, like I'm gonna go there, and it's 20 minutes no matter the way you map it.
Yeah, no matter what
now,
you do.
Now they live in one of the corners of town. Not true. I used to live in Central Lincoln. It was great. 15 minutes anywhere.
Yeah, 15 minutes anywhere. That's the thing, though. It's 15 minutes anywhere,
Yeah.
right? It takes me 15 minutes to get from my house to work. It takes me 15 minutes to get from my house to here. It takes me 15 minutes to get from here to
Hey,
work.
how long is it gonna take you?
Like, it's
15
always going to take about 15 minutes.
I feel like that's house projects to go 2 weeks.
Oh, goodness. No, you say 2 weeks and then it takes you 2 months. It's like my
It's
stupid.
always a number 2.
Yeah.
Driving 15.
Maybe we'll have to get back into this because what are the quadrants? It's South Lincoln, Central Lincoln, East Lincoln, North Lincoln, and then maybe Northwest Lincoln. Northwest Lincoln's always kind of doing its own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just noticed it the other day when I was going to my out of town clinic in Henderson, but I was like, my goodness, Northwest High School, you drive along the interstate for
It's way out
a
there.
while.
Dude, Standing Bear's way out south too. That's in
Yeah, it is.
farmland.
It's way out there.
It's amazing. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. DDT, appreciate
We'll
you.
have to debate next hour the best quadrant of Lincoln.
We are. I wrote it down. Here we go. Morning hookup topics. Doc,
I love it.
thank you,
Nice
brother.
seeing you
Appreciate
guys.
you. Coming up, Evan Blam on my World Herald, and a whole lot more. Sit back, relax. We'll be right back.
Can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Let's go! With Liberty Plus checking from Liberty First Credit Union, your money helps you move forward. Earn up to 5.50% APY on balances up to $40,000. Plus, rack up You Choose rewards that you can redeem for cash, travel, and more. With relationship pricing on savings, CDs, and loan rate discounts, Liberty Plus checking helps you earn more with every dollar. Let's go! Earn with Liberty Plus checking. Visit LibertyFirstCU.com.
Qualifications apply. Visit LibertyFirstCU.com for details. Member NCUA.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3. Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. The top news about Iran and the U.S. again firing missiles has now led to alleged events that sound like going into the Wayback Machine. But it's going back a few months. Oil prices have gone up, and so could gasoline again. ABC News Chief White House Correspondent Mary Bruce.
These fresh attacks are coming amid mixed messages about the Strait of Hormuz. After targeting commercial ships in the critical waterway for days, Iran declaring it's closing the Strait of Hormuz. But President Trump says that's not the case. He insists that it is open.
And now today, President Trump said that the U.S. would reinstate the naval blockade against Iranian ships and ports and would charge a 20% toll on all cargo shipped through the Strait of Hormuz.
We're going to keep the strait, and we'll probably run it. We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait.
This is Trump in past hours on Fox News.
Now we're going to guard it. We're going to get paid for guarding it, a lot of money. But we just want to be reimbursed for doing all of this, for putting our people in danger.
Crossings in the Strait of Hormuz went down sharply over the weekend, declining 52% week over week, says the maritime intelligence company Kepler. This morning, a shooting occurred in Biddeford, Maine. A person was killed and federal immigration police were involved, say two Maine state lawmakers. They say state police and other law enforcers are investigating. A poll on Americans and weight loss drugs.
The Gallup organization surveyed 5,000 people spread across all 50 states, finding that 15% of them have tried GLP-1 drugs since they hit the market, and about 11% are on them now. That's more than triple the percentage of 2024. The Gallup National Health and Wellbeing Index doesn't draw conclusions, but did find that the national obesity rate has fallen to 36.4% of the population, 5.5% lower than in 2022.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Extreme heat spreading across more of the U.S. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Drip Drop is a doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams, Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. Head to dripdrop.com now and use promo code RADIO20.
The battle for Nebraska's 2nd District congressional seat is heating up. Good morning. It's 10:03 here in the newsroom of KFOR. I'm Elijah Herbal. The U.S. Speaker of the House will be making his way to Nebraska this weekend. According to the Omaha World Herald, Nebraska's 2nd District congressional nominee Brinker Harding will welcome House Speaker Mike Johnson to Omaha on Saturday. Details about Johnson's visit are limited at this time, but it is confirmed that he will be participating in at least one fundraising event. This comes after Harding's opponent, Democrat Denise Powell, announced former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg will be coming to Omaha on Tuesday. Harding and Powell are battling for the seat left by long-term incumbent Republican Don Bacon, who announced that this 5th term will be his last in Congress. Yesterday, Governor Jim Pillen, in accordance with an order from President Donald Trump, announced that all U.S. and Nebraska flags are to be flown at half-staff to honor U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who died Saturday at age 71. Flags are to be flown at half-staff until 6 p.m. on Saturday. Nebraska Senator Pete Ricketts released a statement on Lindsey Graham saying, in part, quote, Lindsey Graham defined the word patriot. He was a strong advocate for freedom and a friend. His passion for South Carolina and the United States was unmatched. I am deeply saddened by this loss to our nation. There are 70 job openings at Lincoln Public Schools in areas involving nutrition services, paraeducators, transportation, and custodial. An interview day is coming up tomorrow afternoon from noon to 4 over at Southwest High School.
We are asking that people would fill out the application online before the event, just to kind of streamline the interview process and hopefully speed that up so we can talk to as many people as possible.
KFOR News talked to Mike Van Cannel, who is a human resources specialist at LPS. More details about the interview day with LPS can be found in the Lincoln News section at KFORnow.com. Sunny and warm today in the capital city with a high of 87 degrees expected. Right now, it's 78 degrees here at 1240 KFOR. For KFOR News, this is Elijah Herbal.
If your watch has stopped running and you don't know why, stop by the Time Shop. If the problem is just a battery, we can replace it while you wait. If there are additional problems, we can give you a repair estimate on the spot. And all work is done right in our store, so you never have to worry about losing your trusted timepiece. From Grandpa's old pocket watch to today's modern quartz movements, we do it all. I'm Dave Wolf. We've been repairing watches since 1970. The Time Shop, next to McDonald's, 6450 O Street, Lincoln.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back in the Morning Hookup, hour number 2. Special thanks here to the doc, Dr. Dane Todd, hanging out with us. I get down with this. Great week coming up, by the way. We talked about it. You got World Cup semifinals coming up. Preparation for the Open Championship coming up. A lot of Legion area baseball taking place coming up.
We're getting into the stretch of, like, the home stretch of baseball season with All-Star breaks at the draft.
Ooh, we got Salt Dogs.
American Association All-Star Game Wednesday night here on KFOR. Tickets still available, saltdogs.com.
As the Dogs didn't fare so well in their 3 games. I think they lost the rubber match in Extras yesterday.
It was in it was just 9. But
was that what it was? Or was it just a 9?
Just a 9, but took 1 or 2 off of Sioux City. So you're in a fine place.
You're fine. You're in a fine place from where you started there. Hey, we had discussed this is so interesting, and we're going to get to a little Major League Baseball coming up because there's a lot of stories as we're leading up to the All-Star break from Major League Baseball as well. There's a futures game happening the other day in Major League Baseball. Have you thought about, now that we've talked about it, what is your favorite Lincoln quadrant? What's the best Lincoln quadrant now? That because am I wrong in saying Lincoln's in quadrants?
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right. And
I think about it in for instance, if there's a grocery store and this one, there's also that same one here, and here.
So and you can correct me if I'm wrong here. How I think about it, South Lincoln, which runs from about Highway 2 south. We're talking all the way from 13th all the way to 70th.
Okay.
So it's a big quadrant, but that's South Lincoln. East Lincoln runs you from probably 56th to 84th, Highway 2, all the way up to O Street.
I think O. Yep.
O
right
Street,
there.
you maybe even get a few blocks north of O. And then Central Lincoln, big old quadrant here, but it's going to run you Highway 2, kind of like that 27th to 56th area. I'll go 13th to 56th, Highway 2 to O.
13th to Highway. Yep.
That's Central Lincoln. Do we want to lump West Lincoln and Northwest Lincoln
I
together?
think you have to.
I think you have
because
to based on this.
That's the quadrant you look at. That's like you need more area to get more things.
Mm-hmm. So West Lincoln and Northwest Lincoln, well, that's the Coddington area. That's the airport area. All of that area is one. And then finally, I think it'd be the biggest quadrant would be the North Lincoln area, which I'll just broadly define. Maybe we need to go North Central, Northeast.
North Central, Northeast. That's a big one.
Because North Central and Northeast, you'd probably go 13th to 48th, O to Cornhusker, and then 48th to 84th, O to Cornhusker would be your Northeast Lincoln. Fair?
Yeah, I think so. Is there a difference between, do we break it down to not best? There's I think there's a most convenient quadrant. And then there's a quadrant that has everything. You don't have to leave the quadrant.
Okay, yeah.
Because for me, I can tell you, and again, I don't know how to define the best, because I know for me personally, okay, from where I'm at, I cross most quadrants every day to come here. But there are weekends, for instance, for my wife or my kids, they don't have to leave the south quadrant of our house.
The south quadrant is the most self-sustaining.
Because of whether you want a grocery store, a gas station, a pharmacy, shopping, Sam's, Walmart, Target, Costco. It's just now, is it the most convenient? I don't know.
I'll also say
to get places.
I think South Lincoln also, to flip this around, has the least reason to enter that quadrant if you're not already living in that quadrant.
I agree. Yes.
The least reason to enter that quadrant.
Yes.
It's
South Lincoln's so weird.
So it's kind of its own thing down there.
South Lincoln, it is. But South Lincoln is so weird because, like, you ever take, because I'm a maps guy. My wife got me to this. Wherever I'm going, I can, like, again, there are times where I'm like, I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to drive that way no matter what. But there are times where I hit the fastest route map. And it's so weird based on where you're at. For instance, if I want to go to Omaha, if I'm at a certain part of South Lincoln, it takes me this way. If I go 10 blocks to the west, to the east, it takes me a completely different way. And they're both inconvenient.
Being a guy who has lived now in the Northeast quadrant for the past about 8 years, best part of Northeast Lincoln, it's mostly self-sustaining. It feels kind of disconnected from the rest of Lincoln at times, but it's so convenient getting to Omaha, getting to Ashland, getting to that area. I mean, I am on the interstate in less than 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah, from right here, from where we're at right here.
Well, and I'm even closer.
You're close. But think about how quickly.
From here, you're about 10 minutes from the interstate.
Yeah, but think about.
Whereas your place out in South Lincoln, Hooksy, you're what?
From the interstate?
If you want to be at the
15 to 20 minutes, because I've got to jump on.
But if you want to be at the Waverly exit, it's probably what, 35?
Oh, we went to Waverly this week. He played at Tanner played in Waverly this weekend. From our current location to Waverly was 29 minutes to the ball field.
You know how long it is from my house?
30, so let's give it 30 minutes.
You know how long it is from my house to the ball field in Waverly? 9 minutes.
30 minutes. We planned on 30 minutes. And that's just like, it's the most convenient way is 77 all the way around to jump off on the Waverly exit and still got to drive back in.
But I don't think either of our quadrants, Hooksy, are the best in Lincoln.
I don't think so.
Are we going to be in agreement on this one?
Central?
I was going to go east.
Oh, yeah. Okay. East. Yes.
East Lincoln. It's I'd say what? Like, because you get that development there, 56th and Highway 2.
Yes.
Great location. I know it's on the south end of East
Lincoln. But you get
Lincoln,
all of that, though.
But the Edgewood complex right there is solid.
You got yourself a little Target back there if you need Target.
You have the 84th Street stretch.
And a lot of the young kids would go, man, there's a Starbucks and a 7 Brew.
Mm-hmm.
More 7 Brew than anything.
Great variety of housing in East Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the closer you get to 56.
The evolution of the
nice neighborhoods with old trees. I love old trees in a neighborhood.
56, go through off 70th into like you grab Edenton, and then you get up into like the upper of Firethorns of that world and the Hillcrest world. Oh yeah.
The big thing that East Lincoln has going for it that I give it to it over Central Lincoln, traffic flow.
Mm-hmm.
Central Lincoln traffic flow sucks.
I think you'd think about convenience too.
Like 27th Street by the Country Club. I know it's all shut down, but even when it's not, only being one lane, try to go through rush hour on 27th Street. Good freaking luck.
Yeah, there's
17th and 16th.
There's
I know
more in
ways,
that.
I'll say the same.
There's more in that area that and I would define it as well as like you just said, the convenience, but like it's the inconvenient numbers. Go look at the number of inconvenient numbers in some of these areas, and it'll blow your mind. Where East Lincoln's probably less inconvenient issues. Man, what great stuff.
The best thing West Lincoln's got going for it is Pioneers Park.
Heck yeah, Pioneer National out there too.
And Coddington has its little self-sustaining area as well with the grocery stores and a couple of food options. But
I think that's what makes Nebraska so unique. But Lincoln especially is those little pockets of neighborhood action.
Yeah, but for the most part, I'm not a West Lincoln guy. Yep. Maybe if I'd feel different if I'd ever lived out there. I lived in briefly or really early in my life in the northwest quadrant of town. My parents didn't like it much up there. But hey, shout out to all the people up there.
Shout out to all the people. Shout out to Lincoln.
Every quadrant of Lincoln has something going for it. I like the quadrant I live in, but that East Lincoln quadrant's nice.
I think that'd be the place. Man, look at us breaking down Lincoln. Let's break down a little bit of baseball real quick.
How about the draft?
The draft. We're going to talk to Evan about the draft because there's Huskers in it.
But can we start this? I mean, Yasa and Horn going, damn near back to back in that
four
third
picks
round.
apart. Those, by the way, that if you're asking where they're going, they're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Both those slots are over $800,000 slots. They're gone third round. Probably more. I want to talk to Evan and think about this as we're looking at it. Did the talent evaluations in the draft? It's interesting. I don't think anybody had Horn and Yasa third round. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't think that's in the cards. And then Dylan Carey, the shocker of 600 plus picks and not getting picked.
I'm surprised, not shocked. Can I say that?
Surprised, shocked. Yeah, surprised.
and I think some people out there are shocked. Listen, he's a 23, almost 24-year-old shortstop with defensively a solid career, offensively 1 year of super solid production.
Well, I think mine is like the shock of it is the fact that he got evaluated the year before, and I think he was told blah 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 blah, and he came back and did it.
Yes, but you lose all your draft leverage whenever you're out of eligibility. A, and B, you're 23.
23.
Think about it. Chalowski can go spend 3 years in the minors.
Yeah,
and I understand we're comparing a guy that.
Well, the clock
that is not the first overall pick. That's okay, but I'm just letting you know how MLB draft evaluators think about this. Chalowski can go spend 3 years in the minors, make his major league debut, and be the same age that Dylan Carey is right now. The clock in terms of Dylan Carey with his development time being 23 years old, it is tiny compared to the rest of the draft.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of time to, I guess, develop Carey more.
And then the other question that these guys are going to be asking themselves is, hey, this offensive production you put together this year, awesome.
Is it sustainable?
Is it sustainable, or do you have to consider the previous 2 years of offensive production as well, where he was just all right at the plate? That's another question that they have. If he steps in and as a 23-year-old maintains his offensive production, stays high level on the defensive end, and it's a guy that by the end of next year is playing AAA baseball, awesome. It's a win. But the odds of that happening are somewhat low. So I don't think it's not the fact that this guy's not going to find a spot in pro baseball. He's going to find an affiliated roster to play on next year. The question is, do you want to burn a draft pick with this? That's where MLB teams are at. I am a little surprised somebody didn't take a flyer on him post 16th round.
Yeah, like, man, this is
I was expecting somebody there to go take him, but I'm not super surprised to see him. And hey, not the worst thing for him. He gets to likely pick a spot, kind of like an undrafted free agent in football. He'll find a spot. You're not going to get some of the perks that come with being a drafted guy, but by the time you get that back into the draft anyway, the financial differences are minor. And I think based on what we saw this year, he's going to find himself onto an affiliated roster. And whether we see him at a major league level, I don't know. It's tough as a 23-year-old going into the draft. But
something I haven't done yet, but it was interested to see maybe if this is a trend in the draft as you talk about players and ready-made type guys, or you have time. Only 6, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but it feels like a little off. Only 6 high school kids taking the first 25 picks. I don't know if that number's down. It feels down. None, I think 1 in the top 10. Is this growing trend in the draft for players coming out of college?
I can answer why for you. Because kids can make money in college now. And the development path through college has worked out for a lot of guys. Yeah, you're going to have your Mizorowskis. Well, I guess Mizorowski didn't even go straight to college, did he? He went and spent a couple years in JUCO, right? But look at this. You have Skeens. I mean, Skeens might be the poster child for why you go to college right now. He spent a couple years at college, a couple years at Air Force, year at LSU. He's the poster child for why you go to college. He made himself a boatload of money at LSU, had proper development while he was there. I think properly ramped his arm up, and by the time he got up to the majors, minimal time in the minors. He got the minor league type development while he was in college, making better money in college than he'd ever make on a minor league contract. High school guys are going to look at college baseball now completely differently because they can capitalize on their time in college and still make money while they're doing it. Hey, you don't have to go be a broke college kid for 3 or 4 years before you get your chance. That was the big plus for these high school guys going off to pro baseball right out of high school is, well, I don't want to be a broke college kid for 3 or 4 years. I want to go make money right now and get my development time in the minors. You can go to college, make really good money for your time there, get the same level of development, and go have like a jump-started path to Major League Baseball once you do finally get drafted.
Three shortstops, couple outfielders, and a couple pitchers. I think there were 7.
Well, I think that's the way it should be. And I know MLB is talking about this completely banning high school kids from going to pro baseball right away, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But I think if this trend continues, where it's just a select few number of high school guys going off to pro ball, they've done it right. They've done it right. I
agree.
That's what it should be.
I had a thought. I was looking at going, man, because typically you see a lot of that deal happening with the young and getting the youth in or the high school kids right away. But I think there's, again, great point on NIL and money. And then I think there's some stuff about these guys getting to older guys, like a couple years of of documented success in college or JUCO, wherever they're at. Some of that versus taking the flyer. Because, man, there's a growing trend of high school kids that jump like that quick that don't ever.
Well, and I'd also say with a few exceptions, which are your elite of the elite guys that have been playing high-level travel baseball since the time they were 12 years old, kids want to go enjoy a couple years of the college experience, and that's okay. Do you want to jump in straight into being a professional where it's 12 months a year focused on the grind? Or do you want to go be able to, hey, not to say you're not grinding in college, but go enjoy a few parties. Go enjoy some college football games. Go enjoy the sociability of college that you're not going to get when you're playing pro baseball. There's just a lot of pros in the favor of going to college now. And hey, for a few elite guys out there, it makes sense to jump right into pro baseball and get that career started right away. But for a lot of guys, it makes a lot more sense to just go to college.
It does. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Flood X10. I missed you earlier. Appreciate you. You know what, Coordinator, a great question that, well, you know, maybe it's a thought. That's a really good thought. How does the minors' money compare to NIL? Whew. It's a great question.
Depends where your depends where your draft slot is.
Yep, and I bet you they travel better in college.
Yeah, and depends where in college you're going to, but for the most part, you'll make just as much, if not more, playing college baseball. Depends where. Are you going to LSU or are you going to Iowa? You know,
it's a great question. There's a lot of study to be done in that world. So, but you know what? We're going to ask the guy the question and a whole lot more when we come back. Let's go take a break. When we come back, we have Evan Bland with Omaha World Herald. I just was looking. I'm like, man, that's such an interesting case right now. There were two kids in the top 10, but everybody else was. Yes, you can. Let's see. Did I do anything here, here, and here? Welcome back in the morning hookup. Happy Mondays for our guy from the Omaha World Herald, Evan Bland. Evan, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. A little extra enthusiasm today.
I don't know. It just feels like it's one of we're getting there's so much fun sports going on right now. You got the World Cup semis coming up. You've got select state baseball going on. You got Legion going on. We just had the Major League Baseball draft. Just feels like a really nice conclusion to a summer sports season as we roll into Big Ten media
That's
days.
a good way to, because everything's winding down and you get the conclusion. When you put it like that, okay, because it feels slightly empty, but if you're a glass half full kind of guy, that's a good way to look at it.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to, in my head, there's still like a couple more weeks here of all this. You can kind of relish all the things you're laying out, and then football talk's going to take over, and you got media days and camp and the season and everything else. So it's just like a short time of the year. It's probably not everyone's favorite time, but I'll take it. It's a nice little change up right now.
Hey, Evan, we're going to jump into Major League Baseball draft real quick. We're going to talk about the Huskers here in a minute, but I want to get your thoughts as you look at just the first round right now. We just had a discussion looking at that first round where you had 25 picks in that first round, minus the fun picks at the end there, but you had 25 of them. And thoughts on if this is a growing trend with college, with kids going to college, coming right out of high school. Only 7 high school kids drafted in the first round, 2 in the top 10. But you see a lot of now, again, I have not gone back and looked at the previous draft, but it seems the high school kids aren't talked about as much in this draft because there's only 2 in the top 10, 3 shortstops, a few pitchers, a couple of outfielders. But thoughts on, as you're seeing, maybe that trend of high school kids, maybe is it why there's not as many, or maybe they're not as talked about? College, NIL, just a lot of thoughts on maybe the lack of high school kids being drafted in the first round.
Yeah, first round, and I think a lot of the rounds too, you're seeing a dynamic change where like 5 years ago, like the projections that you would see just in terms of like, hey, here are the most talented guys, they tended to match up pretty evenly because like the signing bonus that you would get as a pro was the obvious choice because you weren't making money in college. And now you do have these situations where like the asking number for a high-end high school kid is going to be probably higher than it was before because it's not just, hey, I can make this as a pro, but hey, this SEC team over here is offering me something pretty close to that. I've heard stories even this year of guys who went undrafted who were on draft boards who were getting offers in that like the range of a third or fourth round pick, which is just under $1 million. And so those guys can make that in college now. And so I think the concept of draft leverage is more important than it ever has been because again, your leverage as a high school kid 5 years ago was, I'm going to go to college and improve my stock and get a better bonus. Well, now it becomes, I'm going to go to college for 3 years, make 7 figures maybe over the course of my career. And then also, by the way, I could still improve my draft stock and sign for 7 figures there. So I think if you're a pro team, it's a harder spot to be in. Like the rules haven't changed in terms of this is your signing pool of money. This is how much you can spend. And so it's harder, I think, for these pro teams to sign some of these top end guys. So in a lot of cases, they just don't draft them, right? Like it's not like you draft them and then you don't get them. You talk to them ahead of time. And they say, no, that's not the number that I'm looking for. And so these guys just go to college. And so I think you're seeing a lot of that is fewer high school players drafted, bigger classes now showing up at some of college baseball's blue blood programs. And I think this is just starting. Like you look ahead to what the collective bargaining agreement, some of the negotiating points with Major League Baseball are right now. They're talking about reducing the draft from 20 rounds to 12 and making it so you have to go to college for at least 2 years instead of being able to be drafted out of high school. I think the industry is seeing a situation where if you're Major League Baseball and you can have college programs do the developing for you and invest in the facilities and pay for all the things, and then you get more finished products. I think that's where this thing continues to head, and I think we've seen signs of that in this draft for sure.
Evan Blaine with us here from the Omaha World Herald. And Evan, as we dive in and specifically look at Nebraska, how do you think of the fits here as Ty Horn and Yasa almost go back-to-back, 4 picks apart in that third round? It's Horn to the Reds, it's Yasa to the Cubs. What do you make of the fits?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was a little surprised that Horn went ahead of Yasa. I kind of felt like Yasa's frame, his potential is probably a little bit more untapped, and maybe his ceiling's a little bit higher as a pro than Horn. But Horn certainly has had his moments. I think he interviewed well in the draft process. Anyone who's talked to him knows he's an intense guy, a good quote. I think that plays off as just the attitude that you want from somebody on the mound as a professional too. So it makes a lot of sense with him. Yasa going to the Cubs is exciting too. I mean, his projected ceiling was maybe mid-second round, and he goes in the third, and so that's probably not too surprising. In a larger sense, those were the two guys that Nebraska expected to lose and expected to go highly, and they both did, and those are both recruiting wins, development wins for the program as it shares their stories with recruits for the next handful of cycles. I thought that was about right. The stat that they'll probably also use is that they're one of just a handful of programs that had two pitchers go in the top 100 of the draft this year. And so, the stock for Rob Childress as a pitching coach, not that it needed to go any higher, not that he needed any more examples, but he got a couple. And I do think Yasa in particular is probably the best development story that Nebraska's had in a long time. A guy who was a project coming in out of high school, had no command, redshirted, and then by the end of year 3, he's an ace and a proven college guy. So, a major win there, not just in the draft pick, but I think in that story that they can sell to future recruits too.
Evan, obviously the question now will be, and again, there's another word to talk about here shortly that went undrafted, but now the question, as you look ahead for Nebraska with those two guys being gone, how do you replace? And again, not maybe the word replace is not it, but you got a ace that went 10-2 between the two guys that are now drafted and will take their talents to the major leagues. 38 appearances and 180 innings.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you replace them? I mean, yeah, you're just going to reload and do what good college programs do. Like if you're wanting to compete at the level Nebraska does, then you just can't expect guys like that to return. You're going to develop them. They're going to be good enough to go pro. You're going to celebrate that, and then you're going to reload. And I think they took a big step in that direction when Jay-Sean Unger's name didn't pop in the draft. And he was a sophomore eligible guy. So a year behind, obviously, has a breakout spring. When you look at 19 combined wins and saves, like he was a major part of why they ended up hosting a regional. And so, yeah, I think there was some anxiety there about what he might do. He got that invite to the Team USA training camp, and so had become pretty high profile. Ultimately doesn't get called. And again, I think that's not because teams didn't think that he was a top 20 round talent, but because I don't think they were probably willing to meet the number that he had to go pro. And I think Nebraska, their message to him was, look, like you could go pro now if you want, or you could come back, be a starter next year. And if you really take off, like your stock's going to be all the higher as a starter in the Big Ten, as opposed to being a reliever. So I think the rotation takes a step forward there. Another draft risk that they had was Cohen Nelson, who was a Grand Island kid who played JUCO last year, left-hander. That was someone who had done pre-draft workouts with teams. It looks like he's getting to campus, so he's going to be in that mix. You expect a step forward from Gavin Blackowitz, who was the Sunday guy for much of the season. So I think that's probably where you start. And then you look for summer improvements elsewhere. Unger a year ago at this time was getting set to go to junior college. So guys do take jumps. Ashton Nance was another junior college name coming in who had a strong season at that level this year. So I think immediately you've got 4 guys that you're looking at, and now you go through the rest of summer ball and the fall process and see who emerges. But it's going to be different. But again, if you're a team that Nebraska aspires to be, then you'll develop these guys and make it work and see if you can't have more pitching depth again in 2027.
As it stands right now, when you look at 2027, you think it's an offense first team or a pitching and defense first team, just on its face, how the roster construction looks right now, knowing a lot could change. Development could still happen between now and next March.
Yeah, there's a lot to figure out with the team. I mean, first of all, you do still have potential attrition that could happen. I mean, Zach Bates, who was drafted with the final pick, he may well be Nebraska's closer if he makes it to campus. We'll see what he decides to do. There's always the risk of still having some guys sign as undrafted free agents. Like, that's not uncommon necessarily for juniors to do that. So you still need to probably confirm that Case Sanderson and Mac Moyer are coming back. We'll see if they do that or decide to take a pro look. I think just generally speaking, just with what Nebraska has done, you probably expect it to be a pitching first outfit. And we've just outlined what that could look like in the rotation. You know, the lineup's going to look a lot different. I mean, most of that infield, you're going to have to reset, possibly all of it. The outfield's going to look different. You do bring in multiple junior college bats that I think are high ceiling. Guy like Crew Huenfeld, who's a corner outfield type, or Dylan Myro, who may end up being the shortstop for Nebraska next year. So a lot of that, has to translate to the next level. But I just think when Nebraska's had its best teams under Will Bolton, really before that, it started with the pitching and the defense. And I would expect, that to continue to be the case as they develop that next group of arms, and Rob Childress gets to work.
Again, we're speaking to Evan Blam, the Omaha World Herald. Well, Evan, let's talk about Dylan Carey. And I think there's been a few words have been used: shocked, surprised. You look at your shortstop, the awards he won, what he did at Nebraska this past year. A kid that went back, he got evaluated the year before, came back, presumably did everything he was supposed to do to up his level on the offense side. We know great defensive shortstop, but up in his offensive level, goes undrafted. Thoughts on that, and hopefully there's some free agent stuff coming for Dylan here in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, it's confounding. There's just no good reason for why it happened, to be honest. The closest that I've heard was that some of his metrics didn't necessarily translate well in the eyes of scouts to the next level. And it, I guess, offset the numbers that he put up, which were, very solid numbers. Whatever it was, 16 home runs and right around the same number of doubles. And he struck out some, but not at an overly high amount. I mean, it's like the things that make him a viable pro prospect, that list is so much longer than the things that don't. When you talk about an elite level glove, he's been a leader, one of the character guys on Nebraska's team for a long time. So that's not an issue. Again, he took to heart a year ago what scouts told him about his lack of power and went out and turned that around. Wins the Brooks Wallace Award as college baseball's top shortstop. So it's like the idea that a team wouldn't take a flyer on him, even in like the last handful of rounds, doesn't make any sense. Everyone I've talked to around Nebraska's program and elsewhere, like there's just, I haven't heard a compelling reason or even an okay reason for why that would have happened. So you feel for him, like that's the second year in a row he expected better things than what happened. And like his likely future is now going to be signing as an undrafted free agent somewhere. And like if he had a chip on his shoulder before, it's going to be a mountain now just to show what he can do at the next level. Like his walk-up song all year this year was "No More Mr. Nice Guy." Next year it's going to be all the more wherever he ends up going. So you feel bad, obviously, for him. And if this had taken place a year from now, like in the new 5-for-5 era, he could have come back to Nebraska. Now, the way it stands, his choice is to find a team that believes in him enough to sign an undrafted deal, and we'll see where it goes. But you can bet he's going to be plenty motivated with whatever happens next.
Next year, maybe his walk-up song will be the uncensored version of "Forget You" by CeeLo Green. But Evan, as you look ahead here to 2027, I know I asked the question about what type of team this is. Looking way far ahead here, do you have any names, maybe 2 or 3 guys circled for potential draft candidates for 2027, the type of guys that you can follow through spring and kind of track their development through the offseason?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the guys that we mentioned next year, if Sanderson takes a power jump, like his command of the strike zone is already elite level. That's somebody, and then that's somebody who would have leverage too, because in that new 5-for-5 era, he could still come back in 28. So that's somebody, Mac Moyer, I think, with another good year would be somebody who could be drafted, although he would be a fifth-year senior next year. Certainly Unger, if he transitions to a starting role and takes off, would be somebody. I think a number of those junior college additions could come in and make some noise. I think Cohen Nelson next year, if he brings that swing and miss stuff, especially to a starting role, could be somebody who could take that jump. And then just a number of, I think those JUCO hitters, like it'll be fascinating to see who translates. I mean, Logan Groh is a JUCO kid who's an infielder, had great numbers at that level. If that translates, I mentioned Crew Huenfeld had some major power in his bat. What does that look like at the next level too? So you just never know. Like I mentioned Unger earlier, like a year ago, he wasn't on anybody's radar really to be in the draft, and now he's right there. So a lot of this remains fluid, but yeah, I think those are a handful of guys that are certainly going to have roles and opportunity to do it. And they've shown it in flashes. And if they can be a little more consistent and take that next step in their development, yeah, I think they could absolutely see their name pop next year.
Evan, I do want to ask you, you mentioned Coach Childress and not needing any more accolades. You get a couple more pitchers drafted in some higher up rounds. But when you look at Nebraska, the optics, obviously you got the two pitchers just got drafted. You also have guys in the bigs now. You got Bryce Williams. He's spending some time out there, with Houston. And you got Max Anderson now in the futures game coming up here shortly in a few days. But what that means for Nebraska, the optics of that in a conference that for most cases, we could say Big Ten doesn't, I don't say they don't care about baseball, but they don't throw a lot of stuff at it to put you out there. But what that means for Nebraska and how much it's noticed that kids coming to Nebraska out of the Big Ten get drafted and get a chance to play.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nebraska's reputation continues to grow there. Certainly the pitching side. Like when I talk to guys that are coming to Nebraska, like it's Rob Childress is one of the first reasons most of those guys list. And when you look at since Will Bolt took over here, I mean, Mason McConaughey, Luke Broderick were guys who developed under him. Jace Kaminska as a transfer did it. Before Childress was in this role, but Schwellenbach and Povich and Cam Wynn from that 21 class, like typically, Bryce Matthews and Max Anderson have been the exception. That mostly Nebraska this decade has been a team that has developed pitchers. And so like, that's where you see a lot of the recruiting success come from, is with those arms, guys who are pretty talented and are just ready to be molded and take that next step. And I mean, I remember talking with Zach Bates when he committed out of the portal to Nebraska, saying like just a conversation with Childress about pitch shaping and sequencing and how often they should use certain pitches, like was so much deeper than he had experienced anywhere else in his career. And I think guys are excited about that. Certainly the results bear out in the draft. They've borne out in Nebraska's ERA with some of its better teams, certainly in this decade. And when Childress was at Nebraska in the 2000s, and I think like you look around, like you talk about recruiting to your base, I think pitching in the state of Nebraska and in the Midwest is probably a little bit ahead of where maybe position players or offense would be, because you can still work on your craft in indoor settings and in academies, and those things have popped up. So I do think part of it too is there's just a lot of talent in the area if you're willing to go look for it and find it and develop it. And that's been something that Nebraska has made its calling card, and I think continues to, with some of these guys coming in.
Evan, man, we appreciate time as always, my friend. Great stuff. Thanks for hanging out with us. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Evan Blam, the Omaha World Herald, hanging out with us. Appreciate him. Let's take our final break. Come back with stories that we missed. Good stuff. Good stuff. There's a lot of stories we missed.
There is. I mean,
I don't even know where to start.
big weekend of sports, honestly.
Yeah,
well, it's somehow both slow and busy at the same time. I'm still trying to decide who I'm going to take at number 3 overall in my fantasy.
Oh,
draft.
you're on that train. When is your draft?
September 6th.
You got time. You're just digging into it.
No, I'm going to go back and forth on this every single day for the next month and a half. And then I'll come to a conclusion and I'll change my mind.
And it won't be anything where you're at thinking.
No, it will be. The question is just, do I go third best running back at number 3 overall? It's probably Jonathan Taylor. Or do I go make the Jamar Chase, Jackson Smith, and Jigba Puka move there?
Is it a good take that coming up on this football season, I'm more excited about fantasy football than any other football out there?
I'm excited for my Broncos, but
yeah. But for you,
oh no, I am
comparative to other days.
Well, especially have you unfortunately seen the week 0 schedule for college football this year?
I did not.
Kind of gross.
Kind
of gross. It's North Carolina and TCU in Dublin.
Dumb.
That's the game that kicks off the year. The only real decent game, which is like a 20-point line, is Notre Dame and Wisconsin from Lambeau.
Okay, that's on this.
Notre Dame and Wisconsin from Lambeau Sunday evening.
Saturday, Thursday. Yuck.
Yeah.
Come on now, Colorado.
Even the week 1 slate isn't great. Week 2 is pretty good this year.
1 to 3rd of September.
Yeah.
You go Colorado, Georgia Tech. Not exciting. You'll be on a Friday night football. Yuck.
Like the only game that's worth week 0, week 1 is going to be Notre Dame, Wisconsin on Sunday evening. Is like the only game that's halfway all right. Louisville plays somebody, I guess, but
I don't think it's. Yeah, we're not getting it.
It's week 2 when it really starts getting decent. But why do I have to wait that long? Because you have Texas and Ohio State week 2. I think.
My gosh, week 2. Let's see. I'm rolling through it now.
And then week 3, if I remember correctly, you have LSU and Ole Miss.
Oh, week 2, you'll get Oklahoma, Michigan.
Oklahoma, Michigan. You have Texas, Ohio State, I think.
Oregon, Oklahoma. That doesn't matter.
Or is week 3 Texas, Ohio State?
I'm looking through it now. There's so many games. I need to source this better. Alabama, Kentucky. Who cares? You know what? I'm doing this. I'll run.
You gonna sort by top 25?
Yep. Do it. I hate you, sports. You probably my computer's being El Stupido. Oh.
Who even controls the channel?
Hi. Welcome back in the morning hookup. Special thanks to Evan Blamwell, my word hero. I love that song. So nice. I can play that on repeat in the car.
We need coach walk-up songs for plate meetings for Hooksy. That's what we need.
Oddly enough, this is the year. Last few years, not coaching with Tanner's team this year, but I was the plate guy. We co-head coach for a few years and different personalities. I was the plate guy. I enjoyed going to the plate. I don't go to the plate anymore. Accepted the role.
Well, it's
coach, the pitch guy.
The plate meetings are silly. But as an umpire, they're really important because they set the tone. And it's good to be a coach going and setting the tone with an umpire as well.
Look, I think that's all that's about.
Oh yeah,
that's it. I know there's
ground rules
there,
players.
ground, blah blah blah. You're batting 11. Yep, batting 11, done. Because you don't even exchange paper anymore. It's all in game. Whatever. Just get a little personnel, little conversation. You set the tone by, hey, we're not going to do this. We're going to do. It's the way it's going to go. You have a question? Wait till everything stops. Come talk to me. That's how it's going to go.
Confidence in the plate meeting from an umpire says a lot too.
Yes.
It sets the tone for how the game is going
Got
to
the
go.
eyes going with each other.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. As well as stories that we missed.
The stories we missed. The morning hookup.
Scottish Open. How about that? What a thrilling final round. Tom Kim, bogey-free 64.
6 under, is that right?
Yep, 664. First win in 3 years for Tom Kim. Congratulations to that. There was a great moment. I don't know if you watch. I watch a lot of this because it's early. Did you see Roy McIlroy? I forget what hole was on. He hits it, and it's just turning left.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at golf. No, you're not. It was a bad shot. You're not really bad, but man, what good finishes. You had Tom Kim rolling in. Minwoo Lee gets one done. Matt Fitzpatrick, by the way, watch his season. The way he's playing right now, he's up for there's PJ Tour Player of the Year written all over that. Bobby McIntyre and Roy McIlroy round up the kind of the top 5-ish.
Let me know. Minwoo was putting a little bit of pressure on Tom late. Tom made a big, it was only like a 7-foot putt probably to win it, 6 or 7 foot putt.
Yep.
But the pressure in that moment to step up and hit that putt also
nails.
This got me this weekend. Tom Kim is like 3 or 4 years younger than I thought he was.
Tom Kim's a young one.
He's 24.
He is one that I kind of did not like for a little while because he is the one that, remember, I think it was the President's Cup, I believe. He chipped in and did the Steph Curry go to bed.
Yeah. Can you
Against
believe
America kind of made me mad.
I am shocked, though, that Minwoo is 3 full years older than Tom Kim.
It doesn't feel like that.
I kind of had them in the same category of being like 26, 27, but no, Minwoo's almost 28. Tom Kim just turned 24.
Yeah.
For some reason, that
great player.
That was
crazy.
It
goes back to the golf thing, how good he is. He's won in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big win. Now, we'll get to it. We'll talk to it because the Open is this week. Pairings are out. My goodness.
We'll get into that.
Yep, not now.
On the recruiting front, this morning, breaking news, Trey Taylor has officially gotten his 5th star from Rivals, number 17 recruit in the country. So,
congrats.
After winning the Elite 11 MVP, that kind of seemed like a foregone conclusion that was coming at some point.
Congrats.
But congratulations in order to the Millard South product.
Oh my gosh. Congrats. That's big time. Sorry. We're not talking Scottish Open like pairings yet, but I was scrolling it for a minute. Why am I not excited? How's this matchup going to go? This pairing. You ready for this one? It is the 428 in the morning group. Have you seen this one?
No.
Sorry. We got more stories. Scotty Scheffler, Terrell Hatton, Bryson DeChambeau. Let's go.
You're going to get about 4:30 for that?
Give me all of that. What's happening?
So that'll be a slightly
There's
later
more.
Start. That'll be a slightly later start on Friday. Then,
There's more of that, but like, all right. Sorry, go ahead. What else we got? Conor McGregor, get out of here.
Oh, that was garbage. Thank the Lord I didn't waste my time with that, and I enjoyed my time at ZooFest.
I don't think that was deemed a successful UFC.
No,
because of the way the
match,
like Patty goes in a minute.
Yeah, Patty's a much impressive performance, but boring.
It's a minute.
Can we send Patty out there to fight Max Holloway after that? One of the worst. No, I'm not going to say one of the worst. The worst title fight or main card performance we have ever seen in the UFC. Conor McGregor goes in injured. Clearly, he's trying to lie and say he got injured in the first kick. You knew you were injured. You went in with this crazy, ridiculous kick, knowing you were injured, hoping maybe I'll get the one shot knockout. And then if I don't, I'll just say I injured myself landing, and you're going to lay on your back for the next 60 seconds. They're going to call the fight. Gross, disgusting.
Yeah.
Never let that man step in the octagon ever again. He's a legend. He deserves his flowers for what he helped build UFC up to. Never let that man in the octagon ever again.
I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it.
A real fighter would have admitted he was injured and taken the criticism and the backlash and stepped in when he was fully healthy to give the fans a show. He didn't care about the fans. He cared about his paycheck.
Yep.
Gross, disgusting, terrible.
I agree.
Terrible.
I didn't waste any time on it.
Thank you for bringing that up because I forgot about that because of how forgettable of a performance it was.
Didn't, but I know we need to be like, that was disgusting. Skinner did it again.
Yeah.
In convincing fashion.
Well, I was.
He did lose set one.
Yeah, I was.
But then it was.
I was hoping to be able to flip my TV screen on late yesterday morning and watch some excitement at Wimbledon. There was no excitement to speak of.
Yeah. By the way, do you see his record now? Skinner against number 2. Is it there? I can't say his name. Skinner has now won 10 of the 14 times they've played each other.
So yeah, that was a little bit boring. We've had the NFL top 100 players being released here recently. What do you think of Lamar Jackson coming in at number 69? Does that feel low?
You know,
there's a lot of great players in the NFL. I saw Lamar Jackson at 69.
Is there anybody like
I saw Jordan Love at like 75, and I was like, okay, I guess that's probably.
I'd have to go. You know, that's a good topic. We'll talk about that.
A guy who always feels like he's in the MVP running with Lamar Jackson coming in beyond 50 just feels low.
Boy, speaking of that, did you see the Seahawks sell?
Oh, yeah.
$9.6 billion. My goodness.
To a former minority owner for the 49ers.
Yes. My goodness.
No
tomorrow, Robin Washit, Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com show tomorrow. You guys have a great Monday. Thanks for hanging out with us. Catch you on a Tuesday.